Hey, good morning everybody, and thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Shaving with Chief. I'm the Chief, and this morning we're actually going to be rocking a razor and a brush that are on loan to me by a couple badass members of the community who just decided to send it to me to try, and I'm really excited to show you those and to talk about them this morning. For my soap of choice, I'm going to be rocking Saponificio Varesino. This is Opuntia. This is kind of like their take on Creed Aventus. It's like just a very classy, complex, not Aventus dupe, but like a recreation, and it smells really, really nice. This is the 4.3 base, which is their most current base, and it's a vegetal base that just gives you a really hard, slick, very scent density. Like, it has a lot of scent in there. It's very, very strong, very, very powerful, very, very good soap. I love Saponificio Varesino. For the razor of choice, I'm going to be using the Blackland Blackbird. So this is actually a razor that I tried when I first started shaving, and I just found it to be too aggressive for me. I tried it one or two times, I set it down and never talked about it again. So now that I have a little bit of expertise, my buddy Sean Kehoe, if you don't know who Sean is, he's just one of the OGs in the community who, if you want to know about like high-end gear, like razors, DEs, brushes, he's just a really, really great resource. He's active on the Damn Fine Shave forums. He's active on Instagram. Check him out. Sean is the man, and he's really helped guide me throughout my wet shaving experience or my journey. But this Blackland Blackbird is really, really interesting. It has a really, really cool head design. The razor itself is designed very, very well. It has a really cool kind of aggressive, mean look to it. It was actually modeled after the SR-71 Blackbird, which is an Air Force aircraft that was designed in the 50s. It had its first flight in 1964, and to this day, it still holds the record for the fastest non-rocket propelled aircraft. It's just a really cool kind of mean, like Cold War style reconnaissance plane, and they really did a good job modeling this razor after that. Lots of like kind of sharp edges and all that. I really, really like it. The blade gap for this is actually a 0.58, but due to the head geometry and the positive blade exposure, it's known to be somewhat aggressive. And take note, I'm using the word aggressive and not efficient. It is an efficient razor, but if you're not careful with this thing, it's known to be able to get you. So I don't know, it's been close to 9 months since I've tried it. So hopefully I'll have a good shave with it this morning. I'm sure that I will. And for the brush of choice, I'm actually going to be rocking this Black Eagle HT1. Okay, so this is like one of the holy grails in shaving brushes. If you're not familiar with Black Eagle, Bradley over in South Africa makes these handles himself, and then he sets these knots himself. And they're just really, really soft, really, really dense knots. They're kind of hard to come by. The HT1s aren't being made anymore. At the time that they were released, they retailed for about $305. And honestly, unless you're paying $500-600 secondhand market, they're just impossible to get. I've been dying to try one of these things. This is actually the Black Feather Pour, which has this nice silver sheen on it. And it's just really, really beautiful. I used this yesterday, and to me, it was on par with the Varley. I've only used the Varley once. I've only used this once, so take it for what you will. It takes a lot of shaves, a lot of experience with it to truly review and truly kind of rack and stack products, but this thing blew my mind. This is the 25 millimeter. He's currently on the HT2. He recently did a drop for COVID. Hopefully there'll be more drops coming soon, but this is a phenomenal brush, and honestly, like, I'm so excited to be able to use this thing. The fact that he shipped me this brush, I don't think I would have shipped that brush. Like, I would trust the post office. But yeah, so this was sent to me by Peder Halverson, who's a subscriber of mine, a cool dude that I've gotten to know over the last couple of weeks. So Peter, thank you so much for sending me this brush this morning to use. And yeah, so I went ahead and had my soap blooming for a while. I typically don't bloom soaps. Saponificio Varesino recommends that you bloom them, so I bloom them. So I'm gonna go ahead and start loading. And since I always underload for some reason, I'm just gonna give it a nice, like, I don't know, 40-second load this morning. But I just love this scent. Man, I'm gonna be finishing off the shave with the matching splash. as well as the actual Creed Aventus cologne. Because I'm going to Encinitas this morning with my girlfriend Kaylee, and we're gonna do some shopping and hang out there and have a nice lunch. And I just want to fucking smell good. You know, I want to smell good all day. It puts me in a good mood. There's just something about Creed Aventus that just really, really just like uplifts my my mentality and my mood for the day. It truly is, in my opinion, the best fragrance of all time. If you don't like it, we can't be friends. It's just an awesome, awesome scent. Oh, it smells so good. All right, so I went ahead and just loaded this thing like a beast. I'm gonna wet my face and we'll get it shaven. Yeah, I love this soap base. This is a artisanal Italian-made vegetal base, and it has never disappointed me, ever. It performs so well, so well, very, very slick, doesn't dry me out towards the end. Out of all the kind of Euro, vegetal, vegan, whatever types of bases, Saponificio Varesino is my favorite by far. They tend to be like $35 to $40 for the soap, but they're really hard, and I think it's like 5 ounces, 5.3 ounces, and they're very, very hard. To talk a little bit about this brush, because I'm sure a lot of people are curious about it. If you're familiar with kind of like the declaration knots and whatnot, this HT1 is softer than the V6. When I'm over here and I'm splaying like this, I literally feel nothing. Like, I just feel the pressure of the knot on my face. I don't feel any scritchiness, any kind of harsh exfoliation. It is just incredibly, incredibly soft. It literally just feels like I'm just, you know, rubbing soap on my face. And that is what I like. I don't like a lot of exfoliation. I'm a daily shaver. It's bad enough that I don't have the best straight razor skills, and sometimes, you know, doing the too fast shave can be, with aggressive razors, can leave some irritation. So I really, really prefer these just soft, kind of pillowy knots. The density on this brush is unlike any other density that I've ever felt. To me, it feels denser than the Varley, way denser than any declaration knot I've used. It just has an amazing face feel, but they're so hard to come by. Like, I was on a couple of different Black Eagle drops. I was on that website doing my thing, you know, logged in, hitting refresh, trying to score one of these. And no lie, when that brush popped up on that page, I hit 2 buttons and my payment was processing, and I still wasn't fast enough. Like, people like really, really love these brushes. And after trying this yesterday, I even went as far as to offer Peter $500 for this brush. And he was like, nope. Like, I mean, they are just that good, that sought after. And that speaks to, you know, Black Eagle's craftsmanship. I've only talked to Bradley on a couple occasions recently, and he just seems like a really, really nice dude. I mean, he's truly at the pinnacle of his craft. So really, really cool. And yeah, so let's get right into the shade. This is the Blackland Blackbird, 0.58 blade gap stainless steel razor. I have a first use Polsilver Super Iridium in here. So I need to figure out what the blade angle is like. It's been a while. Yeah, definitely a lot of blade feel. But it's very efficient. Very, very efficient. I would say it's probably as efficient at 0.58 as my Wolfman 1.25. It is very, very efficient. You know, the interesting thing is like, you know, depending on where you're at in your wet shaving journey, your opinions can most certainly change. like when I first used this razor, when I first started out, there'd be no chance that I'd buy this razor. Not, you know, it's $185, which isn't bad considering, you know, it's a high quality craftsmanship, you know, United States made razor. But like, I just had such a terrible experience with it. But I also, at the same time, I didn't really have the skill to use it properly. Right now, given the fact that like I don't feel the need to buy any more DEs, I wouldn't buy this. But if I owned it, I would definitely use it, for sure. So this is gonna be the interesting part. So I tend to get irritation on my neck. I don't know if I'm gonna get it with this razor, believe it or not. I find that the handle is actually pretty good. Like you wouldn't think that that's grippy. It's grippy, it's good enough. Yeah, this is a really nice razor. I'm a big fan of their Vector. I hate the way the Tradier looks. I know that that's not Blackland's design. And I think it's cool that they brought back that iconic razor. But that one particularly is not for me. I don't like the old-fashioned looking razors. I like it to be modern and aggressive looking. All right, first pass, so good. So far, so good. Let me take a sip of coffee. Cheers, guys. You know, I've been speaking to my buddy, Joseph D. I call him Joseph D because I can't pronounce his last name. He's my buddy up there in Canada. And out of like everyone in the community, at least that I am aware of, that I've talked to, he has like the most phenomenal brush collection. He's got like multiple Wyborgs, like 5 or 6 Black Eagles. He's used Varlays. I don't think he has one anymore, but he's owned them before. And this is his favorite knot. So we talk about like, you know, some people, you know, will question people's opinions and talk about groupthink and all that stuff. I call it just, you know, seeking out the experts in the field, right? Like if I'm going to do something, if I'm going to make an informed purchase, I'm going to listen to my friends and the experts that have that knowledge, have that experience, and then I'll draw my own conclusion. But I agree with Joseph, and I agree with Peter that this knot is just incredible. This handle shape, I don't think I talked about it, but it's actually called a buffalo. So Bradley actually names his handle designs after like wild animals, which I think is really cool given that he's from South Africa. You know, the pour is the black feather pour, and I just think that's awesome. And it feels so nice to not have underloaded for once. Yeah. Awesome brush. This 25 millimeters is actually a really good size too. Cool. There we go. Let me get cleaned up. Making a mess as usual. Does anybody else grow hair like way up here? I do, and it's irritating. I don't like it. I'm getting old, growing hair like all the places I don't want it. All right, so let's go I'm gonna do across the grain on my neck again, and then we'll go against the grain on my face. Feels very smooth on my neck right there. So yeah, I think my opinion of this razor has definitely changed. It's not challenging to use. This thing is probably easier to use than my Wolfman, which is surprising to me. I wouldn't say it's as smooth or as efficient, but this razor is known for being challenging, and to me it's just not that challenging, at least anymore. The blade angle is very, very intuitive. It's not too shallow or too deep. It's just kind of like perfectly angled, which I appreciate. If you're interested in one of these razors, I got an email from Blackland yesterday, actually, saying that the original all black version, which is kind of like the SR71, it's all black, is now available, which is cool. I think it's a little bit more money, I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but this one is $185. Yeah, that was an awesome shave, and I see why. This is one of Sean's top 3 razors. The Wolfman, the Carve, and this razor are his top 3. And I totally see why. It gave me an awesome shave. This soap is an awesome soap. And this shave was made possible by a bunch of badasses in the community. So thank you all so much. I really, really appreciate the trust that you not only instilled in me, but in the post office. Oh, that's really cool. All right, so I also have the matching splash. Maggard shipped this to me all dented like, so is what it is. I'm gonna go and shake it up. The splash is also super expensive. I think it was like 35 or 40 bucks, but it lasts. This is quite a bit of splash. It doesn't actually tell you how much. Oh, 1.25 milliliter. So whatever that is, but good amount. Just shook it up a little bit. It is alcohol based, so there is just a slight sting, but it's not crazy. And to finish it off, I'm gonna get all fancy pants and actually rock the Creed Aventus. This is made possible by Jack Daniels over at the Virtual Groom Room. He's actually quite the frag head, and he's opened my world up to all these crazy niche fragrances that are like $180 an ounce, and he's just crushing my wallet. But thank you very much, Jack. I think I'm gonna do 3 squirts this morning. Let's go. Fuck, I'm gonna do 4, just cause I like it. But yeah, this is my favorite cologne. It's so good. All right, so the soap and the splash for Saponificio Varesino Opuntia, which is kind of like their take on Aventus. It's a completely unique Aventus scent. Very, very classy. I think it's a little bit darker. Very, very complex. I love this stuff. I have 2 of Saponificio Varesino soaps. And these are 2 I hold on to. Very, very good. I have the set for both this one and Cubebe. It's just a really, really good soap. Let me rinse off this brush real quick so you can get a final look at it. And this is the Black Eagle HT1, made possible by Peder Halverson. Peter, you're a badass. Man, it's incredible. I would say it's tied with the Varley for the best brush I've ever used. Just extremely dense, very soft. 25 millimeters was more than enough. Beautiful black feather pour. This is the buffalo shape. Retailed for $305 when you can get it. Now they're like double that on BSTs. Hopefully I'll be able to buy one of these soon from Bradley over in South Africa. I've been grinding. I've been trying, but we'll see. And for the razor of choice, this was the Blackland Blackbird, modeled after the SR-71 Blackbird, which is a high-speed military reconnaissance craft. Still holds the record. Really cool razor. Really cool head design. 0.58 blade gap, but still very efficient. Really good blade feel. I like the sound of the feedback. It's not tinny. It's not high-pitched. Very good design. Made in the United States. Made possible for me to shave with by Sean Kehoe, another badass in the community. So thank y'all very much for tuning in this morning for this shave. This was a really good one for me. I hope y'all have an amazing Sunday, and I'll see you soon. Take care.